there, it's Liv. Today we're going to be continuing the Goosebumps series with Camp Cold Lake. So Camp Cold Lake is actually like pretty messed up. Like that's like the one Goosebumps story I'm kind of like, sheesh, you know, like a little bit harsh there. A little bit too much for kids maybe. So the story is basically that there's a girl and she goes to summer camp and she's not very accepted by the other kids. So in some like kind of attention grabbing stunt, she jumps in the lake and pretends to drown. So I guess she thinks that people will, you know, try and save her and give her attention that way. And when she's, you know, faking her drowning in the lake, a ghost appears, and it's a ghost of another little girl that has been drowned in the lake and died, and she is telling her to join her. Like she's like, come join me in the lake, we'll be friends forever. But for this makeup look, I figured I would do like a demonic, ghostly drowned person. So I got really excited about this idea. I'm gonna make my skin blue and transparent looking. I'm gonna be like kind of showing signs of decay. This is kind of like an Ophelia-esque but creepier look. Let's get started. I'm gonna start how I always do, which is with primer. Today I'm gonna use the CoverFX blurring primer. For foundation, I'm gonna do a little concoction, a little chemistry here. So we of course want this skin to look very pale because, you know, you're drowned and you have no blood left in your body, you're dead. But we also want it to look blue and cold. But obviously we don't want to look like, you know, a blue alien. We want to just be like a slight tinge of blue. So I'm going to mix this Purlisse BB cream. This is like it's a BB cream, but it has full enough coverage that it feels like a foundation. But it's just very dewy. And of course we want the skin to look moist for this look. So I'm going to mix this, and I'm going to add just the tiniest little bit of this Mehron liquid makeup in the color blue, just to give it that blue tint. We're also going to mix in directly into this mixture some of this Colourpop No Filter foundation just to lighten it. And I'm going to make enough that I can cover my face and neck so everything matches. So here you can see the ratio. I just added 1 drop of the blue. The most of it is the Purlisse BB cream, and that's some of the concealer. And I'm just going to use the end of a pointy brush and just mix it. So yeah, that's like the perfect dead drowned person's skin tone. So I'm just going to put this all over my face, all over my neck, and I'm going to blend it out with this damp beauty blender. Okay, so now that we have that nice pale base down, we're going to start to contour very heavily because obviously I've been dead for a while, so, you know, everything starts to sink in and my flesh starts to decay. But I'm not going to set anything because I'm going to use a cream product to contour. This product is very unique and this is a perfect use for it. This is a Rituel Fille Eclipse. It's an inner glow cream pigment, and it looks like just a black cream. But it's actually like a dark blue black, and when you put it on and you blend it out, it just is like a blue bruisey color, and it's so perfect for this. It's one of my favorite products from Rituel Fille, and they're my favorite brand, like ever. I love their stuff so much. So this is the perfect use for it. So I'm just gonna put this in all the hollows on my cheekbones and just really go overboard. And the fun thing about this look is that the blending doesn't have to be perfect, because if you've ever, I mean, hopefully you've never seen a dead drowned person, but their skin is like mottled. It's like, it's patchy and there's like bursts of color. It almost looks like watercolor painting, which is a really weird comparison, but you don't have to be perfect. And the main focus of this whole look is the skin. You want the skin to look eerie and dead, and that'll really do the most work for us. So yeah, this is the most important part and the most fun. It's like painting. So as you can see with this product, we begin to get a really like dead and decaying look, and not even like fake dead and decaying, like it looks kind of scary. We're gonna go back in with more of that later, but for now, we're gonna do something real cool that I didn't know the first time I did this that it would work, but it did. I use the color Velocity from Sugarpill. It's just a true navy, it's just a bright, not even navy, bright blue eyeshadow. And this is Love Plus, another favorite of mine from Sugarpill. So I use these two guys, and I use a nice thin liner brush. And what I do is I kind of just dip the brush in these pigments, shadows, and I just make a ton of tiny little veins all over my face, and that gives the skin a translucent look, and it just makes me look like I crawled out of an ocean or a lake to eat someone's soul. It makes your skin look transparent. And actually how I learned this, one of my favorite movies of all time is Interview with the Vampire. It's from the Anne Rice novel, and it has Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise in it, and they're vampires. And the way that they made them look so dead is that they had them actually hang upside down until their veins showed in their face, and then the makeup artist would come in and draw all those veins perfectly exactly how they were. And when they stood right side up again, it looked like they were dead. So ever since then, I got very fascinated with that method, and I used it. Whenever I want my skin to look translucent and pale, I always add a million little veins. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. So the brush I'm gonna use for that is this Hakuhodo liner brush. It has like a perfect point at the end. I'm gonna go in first with just the powder and go in lightly. If I want to add some more intense ones, I will use Inglot Duraline, which is like a liquid fixative, and if you mix it with a powder eyeshadow, it makes kind of like a liquid liner. So after I do all the light ones, I might go in and do some more intense ones. So here we go. So it actually is a lot easier than you would think. You just kind of drag the line down and like just jerk your hand a little bit, and it'll create a natural vein. And the way that the powder works is that it'll fade as you go down, which works for what we're doing because the vein starts off strong and then kind of like thins out. And I'm gonna say I use 90% of the blue and just a little bit of that red. Like I dip into that red every so often to just make it look like a more natural blue instead of just an electric blue. Yeah, and obviously the less powder you have on the brush, the lighter the vein, the more powder, the stronger. So you just vary it, make it look natural. So I focused on places that would have a lot of veins naturally, like around my eyes, coming from my temples, and around my mouth. You want to have like a focal point where they're branching out of, or else it just kind of looks like you're painting stripes all over your face. So yeah, now that we're nice and veiny, we're gonna go in for the perfect palette for this look. This is the Nightingale palette from Pretty Vulgar. I got this in my September BoxyCharm. I think this is like the best palette I've ever gotten from BoxyCharm, just because I don't have a cool toned like neutral palette. Like I don't have any of these like grayish colors. So I'm gonna go in with All Nighter, After Midnight, some of Silver Spoon, and Nocturnal. And I'm just gonna add some more depth to certain areas. Starting with my eyebrows, I'm just gonna fill my eyebrows a little bit with this All Nighter black eyeshadow. And I'm gonna use this Alamar Cosmetics eyebrow brush. Now I'm going to take this nice fluffy blending brush from Pat McGrath, and I'm just going to take After Midnight, and I'm going to define my eyes a little bit more and kind of make them look more dead with this gray color. And another trick, to make your eyes look puffier, I'm obviously going to be puffy and engorged because I've been floating around in water for a year. To do that, you take whatever color you're using, which I'm still going to use After Midnight, and you're going to line underneath your eyes, but instead of going directly on your lower lash line, you're going to find your eye socket, and you're just going to kind of push the brush in there, and it's going to create a nice smooth line, which is going to make your under eye look like it's puffing. And to kind of further that effect, I'm going to take this kind of ivory white shade. Actually, this one's called Nocturnal. And I'm going to put that right underneath my eye to make that part come forward, basically highlight it, and that will further make the effect of having these puffs under my eyes. And I'm going to go in again with this blue and as you can see, adding the under eye thing kind of got rid of some of the veins. So I want to make sure those are still there, so I'm going to go back in with this. Does anyone ever end up holding their brushes like this? Like your hand just becomes like a brush holder? I don't know why that happens to me. I just never want to put them down. I want to be able to switch easily between all of them. So now I'm going to do the lips. For this, I don't want my lips to have a defined shape. I want them to just kind of become like a black, rotting hole of death. So I'm going to take Eclipse again, and I'm going to start to pat that all around my lips to create like a dark shadow. And as you can see, I'm kind of making this darkness kind of run down, just to give it kind of like a creepy, oozy feeling. And now I'm gonna take some of this Black Moon Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the color Hazel, and I'm actually just gonna take this sponge, dip it into Hazel, and just kind of like lightly, very lightly put it in random places around my face to kind of look like moss or rot. This is also a good like faded bruise color. Like it could look like coagulated blood under the surface that's just kind of been like sitting there. Perfect for a drowned person that was maybe bludgeoned in the head. And now to add a little bit more dimension to those green spots, I'm going to take the color Cider from Black Moon Cosmetics, which is like a mustard yellow. That goes really well with this green bruise color. And I'm going to stipple that on more harshly so that it looks like it's textured. All right, so now we're gonna add even more dimension to the lips. I'm gonna use this beauty blender again, and I'm gonna use Black Velvet from Lime Crime, and I'm gonna start at the center of my lips and kind of make it come out. So again, having that black hole effect. And now I'm going to take the Hakuhodo liner brush again with this black liquid lipstick and then just kind of make it look like it's kind of globbing out of my mouth. For the final touch, I'm going to take my favorite product in the world that I use all the time, this NYX lid lacquer, and I'm going to squeeze out a big amount on my hand here. And I'm going to use this beauty blender, and I'm just going to dab a layer of this all over my face. And what this does is it just makes your skin look wet, sweaty, disgusting, moist, which I think will really finish off this look. All right. So that's it for this look. This look has been inspired by Goosebumps, by the Curse of Camp Cold Lake, which is a tongue twister. This is one of my favorite styles of makeup to do. I don't really know what to call it. It's just kind of like my own personal style of creepiness. Subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more videos in the Goosebumps series. I'm excited to show you guys. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.